Hello, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
ओके, जो प्रॉब्लम दिया गया था वो हो गया कि नहीं? किसी ने भी ट्राई किए हो कि नहीं? Okay, I see you have replied, you have tried. Okay, anyone else? Okay, for your information, I am sharing the result. So if you have tried and got your result, then your answer should come at 60 percentage capacity. The total overheads, its cost will come 1,45,100, and in 70 percentage capacity, it is 1,50,700. If you have got that one, then it is correct one. So any other answer which is deviating from this one, so you are wrong. So please check this out. And overhead rate is, it is being asked here. So the number of direct labor hours at 50 percentage capacity, it is given 1 lakh hours. Then 60 percentage, it will come 1,20,000 hours. Then at 70 percentage capacity, it is 1,40,000 hours. So it will get divided with the total overheads per unit or per hour overhead rate will come out. So it will be 1.395 in 50 percentage capacity. 60 percentage capacity, it will 1.21, and at 70 percentage capacity, it will 1.077. Okay, so today we will be discussing about the standard costing and variance analysis part. So under your standard costing and variance analysis, what you are going to study. So here, as we had discussed, under standard costing, we will be discussing about setting up of a standard part, or a standard cost will be fixed, that may be in the form of material, labor, or overhead part. Sometimes it can be for sales or profit variances also, profit part, we can find it out. So when we are going to find out the variances or this standard costing part we are going to study, so a standard part is fixed here. Standard means for an average or a normal one, what is the standard part, or what is the acceptable part or permissible part, that is known as the standard one. So we are going to study about that one. So what is the standard cost? Okay, so here I am sharing you the screen. Okay, is this visible now? My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. See, here your standard costing part is coming. So under standard costing, what is meant by this standard cost part? So meaning of standard cost. So standard costs are predetermined cost which may be used as a yardstick. Okay, now you can see this one. So it is used as a yardstick to measure the efficiency which actual cost has been incurred under given circumstances. That means here it is a predetermined cost. Predetermined means in advance you are going to anticipate how much will be our cost, but it is not the actual one. When you will find the actual one? After incurring such expenses or such cost, you will find out the actual one. So when this standard you are setting, I had told you that depending upon the previous one or the historical figure, we have to set a standard. So it is a predetermined cost. So be it in the form of material, labor, or it can be in the form of overhead. So we have to first set a standard. So it is just to guide ourselves that in future, if we are going to spend some amount for material, labor, or overhead, then how much should be the spending capacity of the firm or how much it should spend. Okay, so there this is a limit. So this labor or overhead or this is the material, it is the standard one or it is a limit one. Okay, so to illustrate the amount of raw material required to produce a unit of product can be determined and the cost of that raw material can be estimated here. So if you want to find out the raw material estimation or its standard cost, then how you can find it out? You have to first means estimate how much raw material, how much quantities of raw material you are going to purchase, and then you have to find out what will be our predetermined price. It is a standard price will be fixed. Then by multiplying both these, you can get the standard cost of material. So the standard quantity multiplied by the standard price per unit, it will give you the standard cost of material. And we have to find out the actual one. So when you will find out the actual one? After purchasing that. Okay. In real sense, when you will purchase that one, so it will become the actual one. Whether there will be any deficiency or surplus in these two, yes, there is always a deviation in between the standard and actual one. Standard means as it is a predetermined one, so actual it may not match with the standard one. So due to which variances comes. Variances means deviation in between the standard and actual. You can write it down. So variance means difference between standard and actual. Okay. So here this variance can be favorable or unfavorable. So if your cost it is within standard, the actual cost is within standard, that means below the standard one, then you will get a favorable balance or favorable means variance. But if your actual cost is exceeding the standard one, then you will get a negative variance, which is known as unfavorable variance. So we will discuss all of them. Then comes, so as per Institute of Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA London, standard cost is the predetermined cost based on technical estimates for materials, labor, overhead for a selected period of time for a prescribed set of working conditions. That means it is a predetermined cost for or estimation for different input factors, just like labor, material, and overhead like such. So when we have to make an estimate regarding all these, it can be called as a standard part or standard cost. Next, thus the standard cost is a predetermined cost which determines what each product or service should be under different given conditions or circumstances. From the above definition which has been given by CIMA, we may note the standard costs are any of the following. Okay, so what are they? The first one is it is a predetermined cost. So standard cost is always determined in advance and ahead of actual point of time of incurring of cost. That means when actual will be done, before that. Okay, so before that we have to find out how much we are going to spend. So an estimation we have to make. So that estimation or that predetermined part is known as the standard cost. Next, based on technical estimated. Okay, estimation, it is written here estimated. So based on technical estimation. So it is not arbitrarily we are doing anything. Arbitrarily means all of a sudden, whimsically we are not doing that one. So we are doing that one with each and every effort we are making that with proper efficiency or proper calculation with accuracy we are doing that one. Okay, so here all the technical estimation is done. Okay, standard cost is determined only on the basis of the technical estimate and on a rational basis. Rational basis means which is correct, which is wrong, we know that, or how much will be the cost, we also know that. A person, if he or she is not having any idea relating to that one, so he is not going to prepare that estimation. So here we are doing that rationally. Okay, so who is having that idea or technical or expertise, that particular person is doing that. Next, for the purpose of comparison, it is being prepared. Okay, so why this is prepared, this standard is set, because we want to check whether whatever predetermination we are making, that means what in advance whatever estimation we are preparing, whether that is matching with the actual one or not, or if it is not matching, then it is within that one or not. If it is exceeding, that means actual is exceeding the budgeted one, then the responsibility comes or the accountability comes. The person who has prepared that one will be answerable before the management. Why the cost has exceeded, actual cost has exceeded. So in case of unfavorable variances, this responsibility part comes. Okay, so mark my words. So in case of unfavorable variances, that means in case of favorable variance means there will be no such type of actions will be taken upon the person who is preparing this one or making this particular standard cost or fixing that one. But if there is unfavorable variance, then responsibility comes. So here it is written, the very purpose of standard cost is to aid the comparison with actual cost. That means it will help us in making a comparison with the actual. Next, best for price fixation. The prices are fixed in advance and hence the only variation basis is the standard cost. So the standard cost is the basis for finding out the variance. So if the price will not be fixed, that is the standard price will not be fixed, then we can find out the variance. Okay. Next. So there is another one, standard cost and estimated cost. In between these two, some differences are there. So here standard cost emphasizes as what the cost should be in a given set of condition or situation, but estimated cost emphasizes on what the cost will be. So it should be, and here it will be. Okay. Next, standard cost are planned costs which are determined by technical experts after considering level of efficiency and production, but estimated costs are determined by taking into consideration the historical data as the basis and adjusting it to the future trends. So these are the main 2 points, and you can go by all other points it is given to you in the study material itself. Next, how this standard costing is done, or it is means what are the steps involved in the standard costing process. Okay, so how it is being done. So the first step involved, that is setting up of standard cost for different elements of cost. So how you are going to establish this standard costing or fix this standard costing in an organization. These are the various steps. Okay, process you can call it. So first one is setting standard cost for different elements of cost. Elements of cost means we had already discussed that one. So in our cost sheet part. Elements means here you can find out the material, labor, overheads. So these are the elements of cost. Okay, or expenses, and all the direct and indirect division will be made. So all the direct will be called as prime cost and indirect will be called as overhead. So this is the element of cost. Here we have to first fix the standard cost for different elements of cost. That means for direct material, direct labor, and all other indirect one is known as overheads. So here direct labor variances we will find out, and direct material level means variances we will find out. Then we will find out the overhead variances. Okay. So under overhead variances we can find out the fixed overhead variances and variable overhead variances. Two types of variances we can find out under overhead. One is variable, another one is fixed. Next, second one is recording of actual costs. So after the standard cost is being fixed, so second one is incurring of actual expenses, and then actual cost will be recorded. So recording of actual cost is the second step. Then the third one is comparing between standard cost and actual cost to determine the variance. So next process in the standard costing technique is to compare in the cost which we had set previously or in anticipation, and what is the actual one after incurring such expense. Then we will compare in between these two and we will find out the variance or deviation. So if there may be three situations, it might be equal with the actual one. There may not be any deviation. If the actual is equal with the standard one, there is no deviation, then it's quite good. But if it is within the budget or within the standard one, standard cost we had estimated that it will be, means material cost will remain within 10 lakh. But actual whatever we had spent, it is coming within 8 lakh. That means 2 lakh surplus we are having. So it is within the budget, then it is very good. Okay, that means your anticipation or estimation is too good. But if you are having unfavorable variance, you had anticipated it is 10 lakh, but it is exceeding that one. It is becoming 15 lakhs. So 5 lakh extra is there. Then in such case that unfavorable variance is the headache for the management, and for such headache, the person who has made that estimate or fixed their standard cost will be held responsible, and the control of cost will be exercised against that particular person, and the person has to fix this particular problem. Why such deviation occurred? Depending upon the historical figure, I had calculated 10 lakh, but actually why it is coming 15 lakh, or it has came 15 lakh after actually spending the amount. So it has to be done that. Okay, next, analyzing the variances to know the cause thereof. Sorry. Next part is the most important one. So after finding out the variance, we have to analyze that. Why this variance occurred? Okay, so if there is favorable, then it is good. But if it is unfavorable, then responsibility will be fixed. Next, reporting the analysis of variances to the management for taking appropriate actions wherever necessary. That means If you are having any unfavorable variances in any type of elements of cost, in any elements of cost, then in such case, appropriate or necessary actions will be taken by the management against that particular area or that particular department or element. Sorry. Next, objectives of standard costing. So, what are the various objectives? So, the first one is cost control. So, if you are having a standard cost fixed in your organization, then where actual it is being done, then the person who is going to purchase that one or order that one, it will always think about the standard which is fixed. So if standard is fixed 5.5 per unit, then when actual means it is going to purchase or the purchasing department is going to order, then it will means keep in mind that the standard is 5.5. So I should not go beyond 5.5 per unit. And if it is beyond that 5.5, then it should not be very means the difference should not be, or it should not be very high. 5.5, 5.55. Then 5 paise per unit. It is due to certain inflationary part or any other part, it has killed. But if instead of 5.5, you are saying that it is 7, 1.5 per unit, it has increased, then in such case, the purchasing department has to go for other options. Okay, so always it will help you in cost control. Depending upon the predetermined or standard cost, normally each and every person is working in the organization to keep the actual cost within the standard one. So here it is written that particular one. So the most important objective of standard cost is to help the management in cost control. It can be used as yardstick. Yardstick means the measuring rod against which actual costs can be compared to measure efficiency. So keeping in mind the standard one, actual amount is spent. Then the actual and standard can be measured to have a control or check upon the spending. Next, management by exception. So what is MBE? It is a technique of management. So you have to know that. MBE means those particular areas where unfavorable variances has been identified. Okay, if it is within standard, then this is good. But if there are certain areas where the cost has increased and it has gone up beyond the standard cost which has been fixed, जितना भी हम फिक्स किए थे उससे बहुत ज्यादा, तो उसे हम बोलते हैं these are the exceptional areas. So it has to be focused first. Okay, so here it is written, the second objective of standard cost is to help the management in exercising control over the cost through the principles of exception. Standard cost helps to prescribe standards, and the attention of management is drawn only when actual performance is deviated from the prescribed standards. It concentrates its attention on variations only. Variations only means which variations? If it is unfavorable, then it will means attract the attention of the management. But if it is favorable, then it will not attract the attention. But if the favorable is also very large, then it will attract the attention, because it is a quite good sign for the company. It will, which will means convert the loss making organization into a profitable one. Next, develops cost consciousness attitude. Okay. Another objective of standard cost is to make the entire organization cost conscious. It makes the employees to recognize the importance of efficient operation so that costs can be reduced by joint efforts. Okay. Next, fixation of price. Also, this is one of the major objective for which standard cost is fixed. So to help management in formulating production policy and helps in fixing the price quotations. Okay. Next, fixing prices and formulation of policies and management planning. These are the points. You can also read this one. So it is there. Next comes, so we are switching to the problematic part. So these are the basic parts or theoretical parts which you should know, but there are certain problematic aspects also which you should know. So what are the various problems I am giving that one? Okay, wait a while. I am sharing this one. So we will be solving 1 to 2 problems relating to this material and labor variances, because the practical problems, whatever it will be coming. Mostly it will come from material or labor variances. Okay, is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
see here. So under variance analysis, variance means this is the deviation in between the actual and standard. So standard, it has already been fixed by the person concerned, and actual means the expenses which will incurred after the actual activity is being undertaken. If it is purchasing of a material, then after the purchase of material has been conducted, then what is the actual expenses incurred? So that is the actual one. But standard means depending upon the previous one or the historical figure, we have set a standard. So standard and actual, it will be compared to find out the deviation. That deviation is known as variance. So here, different types of variances you can see. So if the segregation will be made, you can find out a group of all these. So I am giving you that one. So this is the list. Okay. So what are the various types of variances you are going to see? So if variances will be divided, then you can find out the cost variance and the sales variance. Okay, cost means this is the spending part. Sales means this is the relating to the revenue part. So under cost variances, we had different input costs. So under input cost, what are the input costs? The material part, labor part, and overhead. That means all indirect. After adding together, we will get the overhead one. Here, the direct material, direct labor, and indirect material, indirect labor is included within overhead. Okay. So here, direct material, direct labor, and the expenses part, it is not recorded here, and it is not the important one. So the important cost which is being done, that is, or it is being spent, that is relating to the material and labor. So here, direct material cost variance, direct labor cost variance, then all other indirect is in one head, that is overhead cost variance. Next, after finding out the direct cost, material cost variance and labor cost variance, its segregation we have. Segregation means it has different divisions. So direct material cost can be divided into two heads. One is price variance. That means direct material price variance and direct material usage variance. Usage variance means it is relating to the quantity. So quantity variance, you can call it. So it can be also called as volume variance. Okay. So price variance and volume variance, or quantity variance or usage variance. Okay. Just like the same, we are having under direct labor cost variance, labor price variance. Next, efficiency. It is also called as the volume variance, but here it is written the efficiency variance. Okay, it can be also called as the lever rate of pay variance. Next, under overhead cost variance, we had two divisions, that is variable overhead cost variance and fixed overhead cost variance. Okay, so under our entire overhead cost, some costs are there variable and some are fixed. We had already read that one. So in our budgeting and budgetary control, we had read that under factory overheads, we had our variable part and fixed part. Under our selling and distribution, we have our variable part and fixed part. So here it has been segregated here. So variable overhead variance and fixed overhead variance. After adding both of these, we will get the cost variance. So division, whatever it has been made. See here it is written the direct material cost variance into two heads, price variance and usage variance. That means after adding price variance plus usage variance, you should be getting direct material cost variance. So individually, we will first calculate what is the direct material cost variance by putting its formula. Then we will find out the direct material price variance. Then we will find out the direct material usage variance. Then after finding out these three, we will check. That means the verification you have to make. If problem is coming, you have to make a verification. What is the verification? After adding price variance and usage variance, it should be equal with the direct material cost variance. It is not for only the material cost variance. It should be for labor cost variance, it should be for overhead cost variance, and it should be also for sales variances. That means the verification is needed to be made by all the person or all the students who are solving these problems. So if you are not making the verification, then there might be chances that a mark, 1 mark or 2 mark will get deducted at the time of allotting the or evaluation of the answer scripts. Okay, so you have to carefully means first you have to go for verification part, and it is very much required. Okay, so what are the various formula to find out all this? So we are going to discuss this. Okay, so coming to the first one, direct material cost variance. Okay, so direct material variance is the first one. It comes the direct material cost variance. Okay, so here it is the difference between the standard material cost and the actual material cost. Okay, so you can write it down. So difference between the standard material cost and actual material cost gives you the direct material cost variance. So what is that? Means standard cost of material and the actual cost of material. Standard cost of material means what is the standard quantity you had fixed, it is required. So there might be some units, 10,000 units will be required for the entire year or for 2 months, 3 months. So that is the standard one. So standard quantity, it has been fixed when we were determining in advance. And what is the standard price? What price we had fixed at which we are going to purchase. So that is the standard price. By multiplying both these, you will get the standard material cost. Then what is the actual material cost? So actual quantity purchased multiplied by actual price. Okay, so this is the actual material cost. So actual quantity multiplied by price per unit or actual price per unit. So it gives you the actual material cost. So if the standard cost is greater than actual, then there will be favorable variance. But if the actual is greater than the standard one, हमने मान लिया था कि 7 लाख का होगा हमारा मटेरियल कॉस्ट स्टैंडर्ड वाला, मगर एक्चुअल वाला 8 लाख हो गया, तो 1 लाख का जो नेगेटिव वाला आ गया उसे हम ऑन फेवरेबल बोलते हैं, ज्यादा जो आ गया. अगर हम 7 लाख बोले थे और 6 लाख का हमारा टोटल एक्चुअल कॉस्ट आ गया, तो 1 लाख का जो एक्स्ट्रा हमें बचा लिया वो वाला हमारा आ गया फेवरेबल वेरिएंस. So this is, in this way you have to find it out. Okay, so here the formula to find out this one is, so standard cost minus actual cost. Okay, so how to find it out? So here it is written. So standard cost means standard price per unit multiplied by into standard quantity used for actual output. Then Actual cost means actual price multiplied by actual quantity. Next, there is a question, so we have to find out multiplying these all this. So see, standard output is given. So standard output is given 1600 units, actual output is given 2000 units. Okay, so standard quantity required per unit is 2 kg. Getting or not? So 2 kg is required, that is the standard quantity per unit it is required. Total quantity actually consumed, that is 2400 kg. Okay, so standard rate per unit is 8 per kg and actual rate per unit is 10 per kg. So how we are going to find out the material cost variance? So material cost variance means standard material cost minus actual material cost. So here the formula we are going to apply. So standard price multiplied by standard quantity for actual output. So actual output हमारा कितना है? तो 2000 यूनिट्स का. तो हमारा स्टैंडर्ड आउटपुट हमने फिक्स किया था 1600 का, और हमारा एक्चुअल जो हो गया 2000 यूनिट के लिए हो गया. तो 2000 यूनिट के लिए हमारा स्टैंडर्ड आउटपुट जो है और स्टैंडर्ड जो क्वांटिटी है तो कितना लगेगा. ओके, तो स्टैंडर्ड क्वांटिटी रिक्वायर्ड पर यूनिट हो गया कितना? 2 kg. ओके, 2 kg लगेगा. तो हमारा जो 2000 यूनिट्स के लिए स्टैंडर्ड क्वांटिटी कितना लगेगा? 2000 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2, टोटल आ गया हमारा 4000 का. तो पर यूनिट कॉस्ट कितना है? 8 per kg. So 8 into 2 into 2000. It is the standard cost per actual quantity or actual output. Okay, minus the actual material cost. Actual material cost कितना हो गया कि actual हमने total quantity कितना कंज्यूम किए? 2400 kg. Okay, so 2400 multiplied by 10. तो हमारा टोटल कितना आ गया एक्चुअल वाला? 2400 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 10, इट इज 24000. सो वो डिडक्ट होगा किससे? 8 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2 इंटू 2000. सो 4000 से 8 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय सॉरी, सो 32000 माइनस 24000, इट इज कमिंग 8000 फेवरेबल. समझ में आ गया कि नहीं? तो इस हिसाब से तुम्हें निकालना है कि मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस कैसे निकालते हैं. तो पहले हमें निकालना है कि स्टैंडर्ड मटेरियल कॉस्ट फॉर एक्चुअल आउटपुट माइनस एक्चुअल मटेरियल कॉस्ट. ओके, सो दिस इज द फॉर्मूला. नेक्स्ट, उसका डिवीजन है. सो मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस का दो डिवीजन है. तो डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस के अंदर दो डिवीजन कौन सा? तो डायरेक्ट मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस एंड डायरेक्ट मटेरियल यूसेज और क्वांटिटी वेरिएंस. ओके, तो पहला वाला जो आ गया मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस के लिए, तो प्राइस वेरिएंस में हम क्या लेंगे? तो यहाँ पर नाम बता रहा है कि ये प्राइस का डिफरेंस होगा, प्राइस वेरिएशन. तो स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस एंड एक्चुअल प्राइस के बीच में हमारा जो डेविएशन होगा उससे हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी के साथ. तो ये हो गया हमारा डायरेक्ट मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस. तो यहाँ पर लिखा गया है, देख लो. डायरेक्ट मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एक्चुअल प्राइस एंड स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस ऑफ मटेरियल्स कंज्यूम. सो मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस में आ रहा है इज ड्यू टू द फॉलोइंग रीजंस. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि कौन सा केसेस में हम बता सकते हैं कि ये मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस आ सकता है. ओके, तो द चांसेस दैट द मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंसेस मे कम इन द फॉलोइंग सिचुएशंस. So these are the various situations. So what are they? The first one is changes in the price of material. So if price of material is changing, then material price variances will come. Then on economical size of purchase order. हमारा कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग में एक पार्ट है जो कि मैंने पढ़ाया था, जो प्रीवियस क्लास मैंने किया था वो पिछला वाला सेशन में. तो हम EOQ पढ़े थे, इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डरिंग क्वांटिटी. याद है कि नहीं?
जी सर.
तो जो EOQ हम पढ़े थे तो उसे हम बोलते हैं इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डरिंग क्वांटिटी. ओके, सो उसमें हम डिटरमाइन करते हैं साल में हम कितने नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स प्लेस करें. तो जितने नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स हम प्लेस करते हैं वो डिटरमाइन करता है तो हमारा जो कैरिंग और ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट है वो कम हो जाएगा. तो जो परचेज ऑर्डर अगर हमारा अन इकोनॉमिकल होगा, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर हम एक लॉट में ज्यादा परचेज करते हैं, एक लॉट में कम परचेज करते हैं और इधर उधर कर लेते हैं तो हमारा कॉस्ट जो है वो ज्यादा हो जाएगा। कैसे कि अगर थोड़ा और कम और बहुत कम स्मॉल अमाउंट में अगर और क्वांटिटी में अगर परचेज करेंगे तो हमें बहुत सारा डिस इकोनॉमीज आ जाएगा। जैसे कि हमें डिस्काउंट नहीं मिलेगा, बहुत सारे चांसेस है जो कि एक साथ अगर हम परचेज करके ट्रांसपोर्ट कर देते हैं तो हमारा जो ट्रैवलिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो कैरेज कॉस्ट वो बच जाता है। अगर हम एक साथ छोटा छोटा लॉट में अगर परचेज करते हैं तो कॉस्ट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो जाता है, तो हमारा वो कॉस्ट पार्ट बढ़ जाता है। तो इसीलिए अगर ऐसे ही होता है तो हमारा प्राइस वेरिएंसेस वो आ जाता है बीच में। तो और इकोनॉमिकल अगर हमारा लॉट परचेज ऑर्डर हो जाएगा तो भी हमारा प्राइस वेरिएंसेस आ सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, फेलियर टू परचेज मटेरियल्स एट प्रॉपर टाइम। इसका मतलब क्या हो गया, बहुत सारे ऐसे भी हमारा बिजनेसेस है जो कि मीन्स सीजनल प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर ही चलता है। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ, अगर हम पोटैटो चिप्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी, तो पोटैटो के लिए एक हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन है। तो अगर उस हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन में हम परचेज करके उसे स्टोर करके रख लेते हैं तो हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन में उसका कॉस्ट बहुत नीचे आ जाता है। तो अगर उस हिसाब से हम परचेज कर लेते हैं और स्टोर करके रख लेते हैं तो हमारा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है कॉस्ट के ऊपर और मटेरियल कॉस्ट के ऊपर तो वो कम हो जाता है। मगर अगर उस हिसाब से हम डिसीजन नहीं लेंगे तो क्या होगा कि हमें मीन्स डिफरेंट इंटरवल में परचेज करना पड़ेगा। जब वो सटेज हो जाएगा मार्केट में तो उसका प्राइस बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा। हमने भी बहुत सारे टाइम्स देखे हैं कि उसका पोटैटो का प्राइस ऐसे भी बढ़कर हमारा 20, 25, 30, 40 भी हो चुका था। तो अगर ऐसा हो जाएगा तो उसका मतलब हो गया, अगर हम 5 रुपया 7 रुपया में अगर परचेज कर लेते तो पर केजी हम 30 रुपया जो हो गया 30 और 20 हम सेव कर लेते। मगर अगर ये सारे हमारा परचेजिंग जो है ठीक इस तरीके से सीजनल प्रोडक्ट अगर होगा, हार्वेस्टिंग टाइम में अगर हम परचेज नहीं करेंगे तो हमारा मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंसेस इट मे कम। ओके, सो दिस इज ए चांस। नेक्स्ट, फ्लक्चुएशन इन द कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड कैरेज ऑफ गुड्स। तो ये वाला मैंने बता दिया, अगर स्मॉल स्मॉल लॉट में अगर परचेज करेंगे, बहुत सारा स्टोरेज स्पेस बचा हुआ होगा, हम कम परचेज करेंगे और उसके बाद जो कॉस्ट है वो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज्यादा हो जाए। नेक्स्ट, बाइंग एफिशिएंसी और इनएफिशिएंसी। इसका मतलब ये हुआ, बहुत सारे परचेज मैनेजर ऐसे भी है जिन्हें पता है कहाँ कहाँ से हम कोटेशन मंगवाने से कहाँ से हमें लीस्ट कॉस्ट में सप्लाई मिल सकता है। जो इनपुट मटेरियल है वो बहुत कम कॉस्ट में हमें मिलेगा और क्वालिटी वाला भी मिलेगा। अगर अच्छा सा परचेज मैनेजर और एफिशिएंट परचेज मैनेजर नहीं होगा तो उसे पता नहीं होगा कहाँ कहाँ सोर्सेस है जहाँ से हम परचेज कर सकते हैं। तो efficiency, buying efficiency, it is one of the biggest or major factor which determines the price variance. Next, not availing cash discounts when setting standards. So availing of cash discount, that means cash discount is a type of discount which is normally allowed by the sellers at the time of making payment. You have purchased on credit, when you are making payment, at that times normally a cash discount is given by the seller. If you are not availing that one, then the price variances will come. Next, purchasing of substitute materials for non availability of specified material. अगर हमें पोटैटो नहीं मिलेगा तो मान लो कि हमारा चिप्स चाहिए, तो पोटैटो के बदले हम उसका सब्स्टिट्यूट हम परचेज कर लेंगे। तो सब्स्टिट्यूट अगर ऐसे ही लगे लेंगे कि मान लो कि हम जो बनाना है उसका चिप्स बनाना है, तो वो तो कंप्लीट सब्स्टिट्यूट नहीं है, तो उसका सब्स्टिट्यूट बना के हम बेचेंगे। तो अगर ऐसे हम करते हैं तो वो भी वेरिएशन आ सकता है। ओके, सो यूजिंग सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रोडक्ट्स, so actual product if it is not available in the market, so using the substitute may increase the chances of price variation. Okay, next, changes in the duty structure which is forming part of price. So duty structure means the imposing of duty. Okay, so import duty may be there, excise duty may be there, different types of duty, that means this is the levy part. So these are the various types of taxes which are being levied, so which will change the price of the land. देन इनएफिशिएंसी ऑफ परचेजिंग डिपार्टमेंट, अगर परचेजिंग डिपार्टमेंट इनएफिशिएंट होगा तो भी हमारा ये मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस आ जाएगा। नेक्स्ट आ गया क्या, so how to measure that one? So for measuring that one, this is the formula. You can see this is the formula. So material price variance is equal to actual quantity multiplied by standard price minus actual price. So AQ multiplied by SP minus AP. So here this actual quantity, it is given in the question. You have to only dictate what is the per unit price or standard price per unit and actual price per unit. Then multiply with the actual quantity, you will get the material price variance. Next comes a question, you have to find out the material price variance. Okay, so this was the question. So see here, it is the question. So you have to find out the material price variance. So standard actual quantity, how much? Actual output is 2000. Okay, and the standard quantity is 1600 standard output, and actual output is 2000. But actual quantity which is consumed, how much total quantity actually consumed? 2400. So it is the actual quantity. So 2400 multiplied by standard price minus actual price. Standard price per unit कितना है? 8 रुपया पर केजी. Then यहाँ पर 10 रुपया पर केजी. So 8 minus 10. So 8 minus 10 multiplied by 2400. So 2400 multiplied by 2, negative 2 आ गया तो 4800. So 4800, it is a negative figure. So actual rate, as it is exceeding the standard rate, so there is a negative figure, it is coming. So 4800, it is unfavorable variance, or price variance is unfavorable. So here you can see this one. So 2400 multiplied by 8 minus 10 is equal to minus 2. So here it is coming 4800 adverse. You can write adverse, unfavorable, any one of these two you can write it. Okay. Next, material usage or quantity variance. So quantity variance means here we will find out the difference between the actual quantity and standard quantity and multiply with the standard price. Okay, so here you multiply this one. So formula to find out this one is, so material usage variance is equal to standard price multiplied by standard quantity for actual output minus actual quantity. So standard quantity for actual output, how much? So 2000 is the actual output multiplied by standard quantity required, that is 2 per kg. Sorry, 2 kg per unit. So 2 into 4, 2000. It is 4000. That is the standard quantity for actual output minus actual quantity is 2400. So 4000 minus 2400 multiplied by standard price, it is 8. So here it is written. So you can find out this one. So formula. So another one is given, but you can find out this one by for the previous one. So 8 multiplied by 2 into 2000, 4000 minus 2400. So 1600 multiplied by 8, that is coming 10,800. So 12,800. So 12,800 is coming, that is the favorable part. ओके, सो अगर हम यहाँ पर चेक करते हैं, वेरिफिकेशन करते हैं ठीक है कि नहीं, तो चेक कर लो, दोनों को ऐड कर लो. 12,800 फेवरेबल प्लस 4,800 नेगेटिव एडवर्स, टोटल कितना आ रहा है? 12,800 से 4,800 डिडक्ट कर लो तो कितना आ गया? 8,000 आ गया. तो पहले हमारा कॉस्ट वेरिएशन में, वेरिएंस में जो निकला था वो वाला निकला था कि 8,000 आएगा. तो ये यहाँ पर वेरीफाई हो गया कि हम जो किए हैं वो सही है. तो मटेरियल यूसेज में आ गया 12,800 नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव, 4,800 नेगेटिव आ गया हमारा मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस में, और कॉस्ट वेरिएंस में निकल आया कि हमारा 8,000 फेवरेबल. तो वो तीनों को हम ऐसे ही चेक कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पर और एक आ गया कि निकाल सकते हो ये वाला, तो यहाँ पर दिया गया है. सो फॉर मेकिंग 10 kgs of Zemco, the standard material requirement is material A required 8 units and material B required 4 units. During April 2004, 1000 units of Zemco were produced. The actual consumption of material is as under. So actual material consumption क्या हो गया कि material A में आ गया 750 यूनिट 7 रुपया करके और B का 500 यूनिट 5 रुपया करके, मगर हमारा जो स्टैंडर्ड था कितना था 8 यूनिट्स पर 8 यूनिट्स 1 केजी के लिए 10 केजी के लिए लगता था, तो 1000 के लिए कितना लगेगा 800 यूनिट्स. यू कैन फाइंड इट आउट. ओके, यहाँ पर लिखा गया है फॉर मेकिंग 10 केजीज ऑफ जेमको द स्टैंडर्ड मटेरियल रिक्वायरमेंट इज 8 यूनिट्स. देन फॉर फाइंडिंग मींस प्रोड्यूसिंग 1000 केजीज इट विल बी 800 यूनिट्स. देन बी विल बी रिक्वायर्ड 400 यूनिट्स. नेक्स्ट यहाँ पर जो एक्चुअल आ गया 800 400 के बदले हमें एक्चुअल लगेगा 750 यूनिट्स और 500 यूनिट्स. तो हम ये जो सारे हैं उनका हमें निकालना है क्या ना मटेरियल यूसेज वेरिएंस. कैसे निकालेंगे इंडिविजुअली दोनों का निकालना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो यहाँ पर एक कंपोजिट प्रॉब्लम है, कैसे आता है देख लो. तो मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस में क्या करेंगे स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट माइनस एक्चुअल कॉस्ट. स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट कितना आ गया ए के लिए अलग सा बी के लिए अलग सा हम निकालेंगे. तो देख लो पहले, तो यहाँ पर 800 यूनिट्स हो गया हमारा स्टैंडर्ड मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 6 पर केजी. सो 800 इंटू 6 4800 प्लस 400 इंटू 4 1600. सो यहाँ पर आ गया 4800 प्लस 1600 6400 स्टैंडर्ड वाला. तो यहाँ पर हमने लिख लिए वो वाला आ गया कि लिख लिए 6400 माइनस एक्चुअल वाला कितना है. एक्चुअल वाला यहाँ पर है 750 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 7, तो टोटल कितना आ गया 52 हाँ 5250. ओके हाँ ठीक है 5250 प्लस 2500, तो टोटल आ गया 7750. तो यहाँ पर आ गया 7750. तो उनमें से डिडक्ट करने के बाद हमारा 1350 आ गया 8 बस. ये हो गया मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस. प्राइस वेरिएंस में हम क्या देखेंगे प्राइस के डिफरेंस. तो प्राइस जो हो गया यहाँ पर लिखा गया पर केजी कितना है 7, यहाँ पर आ गया 5, तो यहाँ पर कितना है 6 और 4. तो उनका वेरिएशन यहाँ पर निकाल लो. एक्स वाई करके दिया गया है तुम्हारा, यहाँ पर ए बी करके दिया गया है, तो ए बी लिख लेना. यहाँ पर एक्स वाई गलत से दिया गया है. सो ए के लिए हमारा कितना आ गया, तो हमारा एक्चुअल जो क्वांटिटी है 750 है मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 6 हो गया स्टैंडर्ड माइनस 7 हो गया एक्चुअल. सो -1 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 750 एडवर्स. नेक्स्ट y के लिए कितना आ गया 500 एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 4 स्टैंडर्ड माइनस एक्चुअल 5. सो 500 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1 500 एडवर्स. सो दोनों को मिलाकर हमारा टोटल एडवर्स आ गया कितना 1250 एडवर्स. ओके मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस. देन हम देखेंगे कि मटेरियल यूसेज वेरिएंस कितना निकलता है. यूसेज वेरिएंस के लिए हम देखेंगे क्वांटिटी वाला. तो क्या क्वांटिटी वाला वेरिएशन देख लो. तो क्वांटिटी यहाँ पर 800 400, यहाँ पर 700 500. तो यहाँ पर देख लो पहले. So here 800 minus 750 multiplied by 6, that is the standard price, plus 400 minus 500 into 4. Sorry. So ये आ गया 400 एडवर्स. ओके, सो दोनों को अगर हम चेक मल्टीप्लाई करके देखते हैं सॉरी. सो देखो, तो ये हो गया हमारा 50 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 6 300 प्लस ये माइनस 100 इंटू 4 400. सो एडवर्स आ गया 100. अभी वेरिफिकेशन चाहिए. वेरिफिकेशन क्या प्राइस और यूसेज को मिलाकर कॉस्ट आएगा. तो यहाँ पर 100 एडवर्स 1250 एडवर्स दोनों को मिलाकर आ गया 1350. सो यहाँ पर देखो 1350 एडवर्स. तो ये वेरीफाइड हो गया. ओके, so this is material price variance. So in this way you can also apply the formula to find out the material the labor variances also. different problems are there, you can find it out all these. Okay, so here it is given. So labor variance, so labor rate variance, which is known as the earlier we were telling about this price variance. So here it is labor rate variance. So that was material price variance. Here the labor price we are going to check. Then labor time variance, that means earlier it was quantity and labor hour is checked here. And material, its unit of measurement is quantity, it will be in units, and labor measurement is in hours. Okay, so here it is also volume, that was also volume. Okay, see here rate variance, labor cost variance, we know that one. So labor cost variance means standard labor cost minus actual labor cost, and labor rate variance means the same formula we are going to apply. Okay, so earlier we were applying which one? The standard rate minus actual rate. So earlier we were applying standard price minus actual price. So यहाँ पर standard rate minus actual multiplied by actual hours paid. Okay, तो पिछला वाला जो हो गया फॉर्मूला मेटेरियल के केस में हमने लिया था एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी. सो यहाँ पर एक्चुअल आवर्स पेड. नेक्स्ट यहाँ पर दिया गया है एक क्वेश्चन. यूजिंग द डाटा गिवन इन इलस्ट्रेशन कैलकुलेट लेबर वेरिएंसेस. कौन सा वाला दिया गया है? इलस्ट्रेशन 8. This is the labor variance. Okay. Labor cost variance is given here. So standard labor cost minus actual labor cost. So standard hours multiplied by standard rate minus actual hours multiplied by actual rate. So just like the material cost variance, here it is direct labor cost variance. So you can multiply the standard labor hours multiplied by hourly rate minus actual hours multiplied by actual rate per hour. So this is the question, you can find it out here. Standard wage rate per hour 5, standard time set 1000, but actually rupees 6 per hour it is paid, and actual time taken is 980. You can multiply both these and you can find it out. 5 into 1000 minus 6 into 980. So it is 5000 minus 5880. So it is coming 880 negative or adverse. So by applying this particular question in finding out the material price variance, sorry, labor rate of pay variance, you can find out the actual time taken 980 multiplied by standard minus actual 5 minus 6. So कितना आ गया? -1 multiplied by 980. So minus 980 or 980 adverse. So here you can see the result 980 adverse. Okay. Next आ गया labor rate of pay or efficiency variance. Time variance or efficiency variance. Time means here the actual time and standard time, it is to be taken into account. So here it is written standard hours for actual production minus actual hours work into standard rate. So this is the one. So 1000 minus 980 into 5. This is the standard rate. So it is coming 100 favorable. So 980 adverse plus 100 favorable, 880 adverse. So you can verify this one. Okay. So these are the various variances, you can find it out, but there are also many other variances you need to find out, just like mixed variance and yield variance in both the cases, and also overhead rate of pay variance, or fixed overhead variance, and variable overhead variance. Up to overhead variance you go on calculating, but just practice all these problems, so it will be very helpful from examination point of view. So hope all of you will do such problems and find out the answers also. If you are facing any problem, then ask me. So after the class is getting completed also, I will assist you. So thank you for today. In the next class again, we will meet with another topic. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.